Des, we've had a very positive start to the season, backed up with the victory against Stoke City last weekend. We've had a good free week leading up to the game against Bristol City. How have preparations gone?
They've gone well. I'm pleased. I said 5 games in, mostly with the performances, but certainly with the results. The 3 home games, 3 wins in a row at home. It's put us in a good position in the league as early as it is. We know it's just a start. We know how competitive this league is, but the pleasing thing is that we've been able to showcase that we firstly can compete at this level. We know we'll face other challenges. Every single week will be a challenge, but if we can apply ourselves in the manner we have so far, we'll put ourselves in the best spot going forwards. Now, on this occasion, going into Bristol on Saturday.
In terms of the game against Stoke, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy watching it and watching your team perform the way that they did?
I enjoyed most games. The Championship's been a real different kind of level of challenge, but one that I think everybody, staff and players have adapted to very well. There's a lot more that tends to go on a game day, whether it's before game, certainly in game, that really tests and challenges you, and it's for us to make sure that we're ready for that in terms of preparation and preparing our players for what we may face, whether it be at the start or during game, or whether it's the ability for our staff to find solutions during game to be able to get message on to players to change and tweak things that will put us in the best position. But I certainly enjoyed the Stoke game, firstly because of the atmosphere again in our stadium with our fans, secondly the result, but more so the performance. Certainly in that second half I thought there was 20 minutes of football, which included that spell where we got the goal, where I actually just stood and enjoyed watching the game from the sideline. I don't really remember saying or communicating too much to the players because it was actually a joy to watch. But again, it's making sure now that we won't always get those moments, but we need to make sure that we keep working hard towards that to make sure that we can do that over a longer period of time.
What we saw in the first game of the season against Norwich is 9 of the starters were those that played at Wembley and started in that. We're starting to now see some of the new recruits really embed themselves in the team, and I'm talking specifically really about Idris El Mizouni on Saturday that got the winning goal. But in the general sense, how are all the new recruits adapting and how have they been settling in?
Look, I think when you've got a group of players that, and you've seen this over many seasons, teams that go up, those players that have worked so hard for that club to get them to that space, you can't dismiss firstly the quality of the player, but also the togetherness of that group and how important that is and can be if you use it and use it right. There's also an acknowledgement that going up a level you would acquire other things that you haven't either had or had the advantage of gaining, that you're going to need to go and challenge and continue working. And if you can get that combination right, and I feel we signed 16 players in the off-season, you need to make sure that you recognise what we already have in the building, because I think sometimes you miss what's right in front of your face, and we were mindful of not doing that. And then you add to that in a planned, almost staged manner, if you will, where it allows those that have got us to where we got an opportunity to showcase that they can, and that's been really good to see, whilst also allowing those that we've signed to come in, understand what we do, see it, be part of it, and be introduced over periods of time, where we feel either they're ready for it or whether we feel that the game will suit them a little bit better in those moments.
One thing that seems to certainly feel like it's grown is the fan base and the excitement around the club at the moment. Going into this game on Saturday away to Bristol City, more than 3,500 Oxford United fans heading down to it. I mean, just even from your point of view, does it feel like there's a real different air around the club when we're getting that following for a league away match?
I think that's been there since the back end of last season. I think anyone that has spoken about this, that had the ability to come to the stadium at the Kassam firstly and experience what was a wonderful environment and that real togetherness that was there, that spilled certainly into the away games at Peterborough for the playoff game. Obviously the amount of people we took to Wembley shows how big this club and the fan base and the following is. And then that's continued into this season. Even when we've gone to the away games that we've had, we've taken a large following. But to take a sellout 3,500 to Bristol, for our fans to get behind us, back us, and enjoy themselves, we'll try and do everything we can to make sure they have a very enjoyable day.
And just in terms of the opposition that we're going to be facing in Bristol City, we say it every game and every week that it's another big challenge in the Championship. But is there anything specifically about Bristol that you've noticed, or is it just about focusing, but especially on what we do?
Look, I know there's different narratives to this game for different things. The most important thing is that we continue to do what we've done so far this year. We're very much feet on the ground. We're a very hard-working group, an honest group of players and staff, and we focus on ourselves. And if we continue to do that, we'll try and turn this start into something more. But like you said, every game in this league will pose its own challenges, and it's you have to be on it. You have to be on it as much as possible leading in. You have to be on it during the game, and like I said, if we can continue showcasing what we have done, and the players have been good again this week, and hopefully that momentum takes us into this away game now after the back of 2 good home games, we can put ourselves in that best position come Saturday from kick-off to be ready and right, and then throughout the game be ready and right to make sure that when we finish, we're in the best spot possible.